At this time every Friday, as we welcome you back to the Two Guys Named Chris show, we are joined by Lisa Lanier, our official attorney of this program. Inside the docket, several legal cases. She will solve them all, including the jabron who is suing LeBron James for $866 because he bought tickets thinking LeBron was going to retire when LeBron, in reality, was just putting his name on sponsorship of a Hennessy brand. We will get to that story momentarily. We've had something pop up on the docket Lisa didn't even know about. What a challenge. Hello, Lisa. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I hope you guys are.
Doing really well, thank you. Quick one you haven't even seen. There is a mom in Utah. Her name is Brandy Butler, and she is now petitioning for changes to the daycare system in her state because her son, who is 2, his name is Ethan, they took the kids on an outing. We think it was like to a park, and he went missing for 45 minutes. They didn't find him for 45 minutes, and he was near a busy road once they did find him. So the mom, as you can imagine, was hopping mad. Now, the child was okay. He needed some water. He was overheated. But other than that, he was okay. Now, months later, they've decided we are going to throw the book at this school. We are fining them $200. And the mom says, that's a slap.
That's exactly what this fine says, that what happened at this daycare was not that big of a deal when it really is. Because what if he hadn't been found? What if he would have been hit by a car or something worse happened?
Now, the state of Utah
She's playing the what if card.
Well, right. The state of Utah says this is the max fine we can give for an event like this. It's on the books. So she's headed all the way to Salt Lake City, to the Capitol, to try and change the law and get legislation passed. It's an uphill fight, or do you think she'll get it done, Lisa? I mean, that does seem like a pretty light fine for losing a kid.
Yeah, it is a pretty light fine. The problem is that, the legislature in every jurisdiction, they don't revisit these laws every year. They don't revisit them for decades because they're just busy, legislating other things. And so with the kind of the change in the time value of money, they don't keep pace. These fines and penalties don't keep pace with the times. So that might have been a big penalty when that law was enacted because it might have been 50 years ago, but it's no longer a big penalty. And so she probably could have some success. She also has a civil claim, and I get calls all the time. In fact, you might hear from me in the news soon about the Kid City incident in Thomasville. There's a daycare that the state shut down here in North Carolina that I'm involved in where there was abuse of kids. And that's the remedy that most people, and really that the legislature assumes that you're going to pursue because, the state can only do so much and they can shut them down if it's bad, like in the case here. But if it's a one-off kind of thing, like maybe this thing in Utah sounds like it was more of a one-off thing, so they got the penalty versus like being shut down. But you have, that's the criminal admin law side of it, and then you have, if your child is harmed, then you have a civil cause of action, and usually these daycares carry insurance for that.
Well, it seems to be a one-off because the state has said this has been an exemplary daycare for many years, and we haven't had any other issues. Look forward to seeing you on the news, Lisa.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, that's exciting.
That's my lawyer.
That's what I'll be.
He'll be yelling. I can hear him now, Lisa. He'll be yelling at the TV.
Yeah.
That's my lawyer. That's my lawyer.
Right.
Honey, get in here.
Yeah, look at this. That's right. She represents me. Anytime I'm taken advantage of, which is often, I'm a little dough-headed. She'll represent me always. This guy.
You haven't called me lately for any like pine straw type stuff.
My wife won't let me use the credit card. My wife.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I can't. I'm not allowed to order.
That explains the silence.
Exactly. I'm not allowed to order anything. A Los Angeles Lakers fan is suing LeBron James for $865.66, claiming the NBA star misled him with the second decision. He assumed it was a teaser saying he was going to retire, so he went ahead and bought a pair of tickets for the final Laker home game of the season against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he paid $865.66 for 2 tickets that would normally not cost him nearly that much. The teaser turned out to be an ad for a brand of Hennessy that LeBron James is now throwing his name by. By the way, LeBron, so distraught over the lawsuit, now has his sciatica acting up and will miss the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. Boy, that's a You know you're getting to be an old guy in the NBA when you're like, oh, my sciatica.
That can't be a very common injury for NBA players.
That's a pickleball injury. Some of my friends are out.
Sciatica's acting up.
They're always like, can't play Saturday, my sciatica again. It's like, oh, yeah. Well, you're just like LeBron James, a fine-tuned athlete. The guy is Andrew Garcia. Lisa, is he going to get laughed out of court?
Yes, he's going to get laughed out of court. I'm pretty sure he filed this pro se on his own because I can't imagine an attorney took this. But there were a lot of fans who agree with this guy and fell for this kind of like line of thinking that because LeBron, early in his career, when he made a move from his home city team to another team for the first time in years, and it was a big deal, he called it the decision, right?
Yep.
And so everybody thought, so he played off on that for this Hennessy ad, and he called the decision was the second decision was to get into this relationship with Hennessy and endorse it and use it, and it's a cute ad, it's a cute commercial. I don't see what made people think that was announcing his retirement, but a lot of fans did, and so there's a lot of people on this guy's side, but the law is not on his side. So
well, they teased the second decision, not saying what it was for a while.
But a lot of people, even before the decision, were saying that there's no way this is anything other than an ad.
That's not the way How do you think he'll announce his retirement? I think he'll just put it on social media. I think he'll
just announce it. Yeah,
me too. I don't think there'll be like this lead up to it. I think whatever year is going to be his last. I don't know how he's going to do it.
Yeah.
But it seems like most of the time now they'll just put it out on their own statement on their own social media.
I've not done any checking, but do we know if sales of Hennessy VSOP have gone up since the decision 2.0?
I haven't.
I'm sure they have. I'm
sure there's been a little bump.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hear it's a good drink.
It's not for you.
Trust me, it's not for you. If you thought an old-fashioned was rough.
Boy.
Lisa, he tried an old-fashioned once, and we thought he was going to choke to death.
Good God. Lisa, you ever had an old-fashioned? That almost killed me.
Yeah, I like an old-fashioned, but I know you like a girly drink, so you need like an umbrella in it. Yeah.
I reject. Appletini is not a girly drink. All right?
Lisa, you ever had Hennessy?
That's my case.
She rests.
People drink it, on the rocks or, I'm not a Hennessy on the rocks person, but I have tried it. I mean, it's not terrible.
Oh, you have.
Henny and lemonade? Pretty good.
All right.
Oh, there you go. No, I can see it with lemonade. Yeah, I could see it being good with lemonade.
You're putting fine French cognac in lemonade in country time?
I thought it was, you mix it, what do you mix it, Coca-Cola? Do you mix it with Coke, or do you just have it?
People just drink it on the rocks.
They drink it. All right. We have another case here from a woman who's 89. Her name is Helena Masavarek. She's suing a Turkish airline after she was seriously injured while boarding a flight from Seattle going back to Istanbul in late August. Her attorney says she was in a wheelchair being assisted by a flight attendant when the attendant became distracted and let go of her hand, causing her to fall and break her leg. She's had to have a surgery, nail, screws, rod, long, painful recovery. So they are suing the airline, Turkish Airlines. Is this something that she will get paid for? I'd imagine it is.
Yes, she will get paid. So under the Air Carrier Access Act, someone who suffers from a disability like this and needing assistance with walking has the right to board the plane with assistance. And so the flight attendant who received her in the wheelchair was then supposed to hold her and steady her to walk her to her seat, but then saw a rabbit and let her go. And
wait, back up
check that.
Just a sec.
She saw a rabbit?
That's just an expression I use when someone is distracted.
Oh, I wonder. I was like, what's a rabbit doing on the plane?
No. I thought that was like a universal expression. Maybe I made that up.
I never heard it before. I pictured a rabbit like in the overhead.
If my kids are not paying attention and I'm like, they missed something, I'm like, you saw a rabbit and you missed that.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Delightful. I've never heard that.
I hadn't either. Okay, so the flight attendant sees a rabbit and drops her, and poor thing got injured. That's bad. And
so under, and so this is like the American Airlines story that we can kind of lump into this.
Oh, yeah.
International flights, right? They're international flights. And so the Montreal Convention, which I believe Chris Dim is familiar with,
yes.
It comes into play. And so it is what we call strict liability up to $175,000. You get hurt on an international flight, you don't have to prove negligence. If something about the flight hurt you, up to $175,000 in damages. After that, you have to prove negligence if your harm is greater than $175,000, but it's unlimited, no cap beyond that if you prove negligence. And I think this lady's got negligence.
Well, and that does lead us to the next story.
Quick footnote. There is no, the Montreal Convention does not cover disc jockeys who don't catch old people who fall, right?
Oh, that's
Right.
Lisa.
I don't think Lisa knows the
You don't know.
harrowing story.
We have another plane story. But quickly, yesterday, Chris Tim and I were at an event. I was running our prize wheel, and a guy, as he stepped away from the prize wheel, tripped and started to fall backwards. And I was 1 foot from catching him. I was going to, because I want to be a hero. I wanted to get my picture in the paper. And so I was like, and reached out, and I saw him topple backwards, and he landed on a guy with a walker who also fell, who landed on an elderly DJ named Christopher Dim. And all of them went down like bowling pins. It was like,
is the show becoming like AARP?
God, it's awful.
What?
I can't even tell you.
It was worse than it sounds.
Oh, there were walkers, sunglasses, cigarettes, T-shirts, can huggers everywhere. Popcorn, hot dogs, strewn everywhere. I said, I can't run. Now I can't even run the wheel.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. And I wanted to. I wanted to be be the hero.
But if you had hands on the guy and dropped him, then you might have
then
been
I'm
in
in
trouble.
trouble.
Yeah.
Montreal Convention notwithstanding. So now a jury has awarded $9.6 million in an American Airlines case where a guy was on a flight from Miami to Madrid. This is 4 years ago, and had warned before boarding that he was like, I guess, prone to having a stroke. So he suffered a severe stroke mid-flight. They didn't divert the plane. Now he has to have round-the-clock care. So his family argued that the negligence made his condition worse. Like, he shouldn't have even been flying anyway. He had a small stroke, had a bigger stroke while in the air, and they did not land at the closest airport. I guess they went on to Madrid. They didn't turn around. $9.6 million, Lisa. Are you surprised at all?
Well, I mean, it was, again, Montreal Convention, no cap if he proves negligence. And it was pretty bad because he didn't have any idea that he was prone to strokes. But what happened was during the boarding process, after they had closed the doors, but they hadn't yet taken off, he had the first small stroke and was having those symptoms. And his family alerted the flight attendants, and they would not let him. They wouldn't turn. They were basically ready to taxi or whatever, and they wouldn't let him off the plane, and they wouldn't divert the plane as his symptoms got worse. And then he had a massive stroke in flight.
Ooh.
And so the first one was just a small stroke, a precursor.
Ooh.
And then he had a massive stroke. So he's paralyzed completely on one side of his body. Cute little guy. Got a picture of him that I posted of him with his dog and his family. He lived, but I mean, he's paralyzed. So I mean, it certainly is. It's a big verdict, but I mean, he's going to require care round the clock for the rest of his life. I'm sure that they had a life care plan to show what that would cost. American Airlines says that they're considering appealing it, but it doesn't sound like they're going to.
Man, that is brutal. They should have let him off the plane. I mean,
they should have let him off the plane. Yeah.
Obviously, that's clearly what they.
But you're
should.
Johnny never divert.
I do.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
That's always your thing.
When somebody craps in the aisle, I'm like, take us through.
Or if the toilets are overflowing and there's poo running down the aisles.
You don't want to. Yeah.
Get us to Denver. Let's go.
I need to get to Atlanta.
Let's go.
Somebody died next to me. Give me a blanket.
Move on.
Speed up, but we are not landing.
You're right. Get me there. I don't want to be delayed. A couple of other cases here. Interesting. From Florida, an appeals court has ruled that the odor of marijuana alone no longer provides probable cause for police to search, say, a vehicle. I think the reason is because everywhere you go now smells like marijuana. Are other states going to? Don't you think, Lisa? Every time I walk down the street, I smell marijuana.
Especially, I've got a kid in college in New York where it's legal, just straight up legal.
Oh, God.
And I mean, it's just like everywhere. It just smells like junk everywhere.
Yeah, I was in New York in August, and it is, you walk through Times Square, you think you're at the dispensary. It is marijuana.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we get a contact high just walking through New York, I think.
I completely agree, yes. I should have contacted you. I was trying to bring some back.
You skipped a Broadway show just to inhale the air.
Well, I was talking about bringing some back in edible form, but
you get you some gummies. Yeah.
I was warned against
They're
them.
everywhere.
So what do you think about this ruling, Lisa? Are you surprised at all?
No, so it's actually happening all over the United States in jurisdictions where it's either medically legal or just straight up legal, like in New York. And it's creating kind of a split because, states like North Carolina, where I live, it's still good law. The plain smell rule is still good law because it's not legal here. Mm-hmm. And then it's also creating a conflict of laws between federal and state because it's still illegal at the federal level. And so it's creating some jurisprudence that doesn't make sense necessarily, that isn't uniform throughout the United States. So it's really going to depend on where you are and whether it is a federal law enforcement officer that's smelling you or a state law enforcement officer.
Who smelled me?
Smelled me. I smell you.
That's right. Well, I feel like, though, you can smoke marijuana in New York, but if you smell it like coming from the car, don't you think that should be like, now I'm going to search you? I guess not. I guess that's what they're going away from.
If you're driving and you're alone in the car, then I think that's a different scenario because you may be driving while impaired. I mean,
exactly. That's right.
Yeah, and so that's an issue. I would think you would still, even in Florida, you would still be able to. But they said no. They said no. It's not.
Right.
It's no longer probable cause.
That does bring up an interesting question, Lisa. Do you have states where they've legalized marijuana use? Have the driving under in the influence laws changed at all, or are the cops just kind of making it up as they go?
Yeah, I think that's something that is catching up to the legalization. I think they're starting to, because it's always been, it's not just alcohol that will get you driving while impaired in any state. It's any kind of drug, any kind of illegal drug. Now, you get into some interesting gray areas where somebody has a legal prescription drug, and then they drive with that on board, but any kind of illegal substance, it's pretty common that we see, the blood draws later will tell you what their levels were. And so I think the state driving laws are kind of catching up to the legalization laws.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
And setting standards. So, like with alcohol, there'll be a certain level that they decide is okay, and beyond that, you're too impaired.
Okay.
I only smelled one car this week at the pickup line, carpool line at the middle school.
Right.
With weed pouring out of the windows.
Better. Well, it's early in the year yet.
Yeah.
Wait till May.
The parents really got to get into it first.
Yeah.
They're settling into their groove.
Yeah, exactly. One more story here from a rapper named Rod Wave. He's being sued for $27 million. He canceled his Last Lap tour midway through earlier this year. The lawsuit is filed by Grizzly Touring in late September in federal court in California. The promoter claiming it paid Rod and his company a total of $57 million under a deal for 35 shows, but he only did 26 of the 35 shows. So they're like, you owe us 9 or you owe us $27 million back. Who wins this? At least they're suing for breach of contract. I would think if he signed the contract, he owes him the money. Do you think?
Yeah, it's going to come down to whether there was any exculpatory language in the contract about reasons for stopping the tour, because he said that he had an ankle injury, that he was in unbearable pain, and he also said that there were production issues with the setup. And so if there's an out clause for that, then he may be okay, but it doesn't sound like it. From everything I've heard, it sounds like he just – and then, the promoter is saying, look, this guy – he's full of it. It's not really any of that stuff. He just got,
he just wanted to stop.
Got tired of touring or whatever. They say, they started off with a $40 million contract, and he went, hold on, I'm not going to. This was early on. I can't keep doing this unless you pay me a little bit more. And so they amended his contract to $57 million, advanced him all that money.
Wow.
Before he did any of the shows. Yeah, it was kind of.
Oof, wow. Well, for that kind of money, even my knees would find a way to work.
Really? For 57?
Right? Wouldn't you? For $57 million, wouldn't you? I would let him wheel me out there.
This guy, Biggie's dragging his dead leg here through October to review horror movies.
For nothing. For nothing. Nothing near $57 million.
$57 million. I
have to pay for my own movies.
That's true. That's fact. They never reimburse him for the movies. Lisa Lanier, our official attorney of the Two Guys Named Chris show, inside the numbers on all of these cases on the docket today, and she solved them all again, as she always does. If you need help from any legal perspective, LanierLawGroup.com. She's president there, or HireAHeavyweight.com.